If you just want the answer, then go over to the timestamp that you're seeing on the screen right now. You still here? Good, that means I get more watch time. First and foremost, what is RAM? No, I'm not talking about this RAM, you filthy babe, get out of here. I'm talking about this one. This bad boy is made out of silicon and is basically the kitchen countertop that your processor does all its work on. In simple terms, you need your RAM to run big things. Imagine your processor needs to calculate 1 plus 2. Your CPU will store the values 1 and 2 in your RAM and then use it from there to perform the addition function. There's actually a lot more going around in the background with your system buses and things like that, but I'll leave that out. So that means if we need to run something big like the Earth on PC, we need a shit ton of RAM, right? Well, sort of. The thing is, you don't just need a lot of RAM, you need a lot of fast RAM. When you're buying RAM, you look for what capacity it has and its clock speed. Now I won't be going into too much detail, so don't click off, please. I know you don't know what clock speed means. I'll explain it, please don't click off. Imagine a chef that has to take food from his supplier to his store. He has a lot of stuff to carry, so he's gonna carry as much as he possibly can and walk back to his store with the stuff. After he puts his stuff down, he's gonna go back to the supplier and get the rest of the stuff and walk back. That means even if he gets super slow, he can only carry like 5 times more stuff per round, which isn't really a lot considering the other guy is making faster rounds even if he's carrying the lower amount of stuff. Think of the amount of stuff this guy can carry as your RAM capacity and the number of rounds he can make as your RAM's clock speed. So what we need is a RAM that can be both fast and have enough capacity to run Earth. On a side note, when we are playing games or things like that, none of the area outside of our render zone is being rendered. That means anything outside of what you as a player can see does not exist, or even if it does, it's super low graphics so that it isn't taking too much of a toll on your resources. We could try going that way, but that's boring because if we are talking about using render distances, then the whole Earth can be simulated on 8 gigs of RAM. To make this interesting, render distance is out of the window, since there are billions of people on the Earth and they're all seeing the Earth moving and creating. Except if the NPC theory is true and I'm the only real human, okay?
I'm the only real one. Everyone else is fake. You're all NPCs. I'm the only one seeing everything being rendered.
Now, I'm no mathematician, I barely pass in my classes as is, so special thanks to Reddit user Zero Hope. Basically, if you're trying to talk about how much RAM it would take to make the entire Earth run on a computer, that would mean we'd need to digitize Earth first. That would take us to programming. Let me add a caution warning here, like I'm not a fully fledged programmer yet, so I might be wrong in some areas here and would love to hear your guys' opinions in the comments. Yeah, let's start. When we're making something as big as the Earth, we need to find the most basic materials of it that we can classify into major groups or categories. We could possibly classify the Earth into regions like mountainous regions, forests, oceans, but that would be cheating since we talked about a 1 by 1 scale simulation. So we're going down till atoms. The Earth is composed of iron, oxygen, silicon, magnesium, sulfur, nickel, calcium, and aluminium. 1.2% is the other trace element, so that boils down to 1.066 times 10 to the 50th power particles. Since each particle has its own velocity, momentum, and its xyz coordinates on our 3D model of the Earth, plus we'd also need an address for it so that we can call it later in the program, let's assign 211 bits to each particle. Now that we have both the number of particles and the data that they need to be simulated, all we need to do is multiply them. Here goes. Oh, wait a second. Welcome back to all the people who skipped in the beginning. You have missed a lot of very valuable information, but here is the answer. 4.30854106 into 10 raised to the 24th power megabytes. That's 24 zeros after 43. To understand how big of a number that is, that's 1.1 into 10 raised to the 34th power times more data than the entire internet. Every single cat or dog picture, all these scammy websites, everything. Take all of that, multiply it by this number, and then you will get the amount of RAM needed to simulate Earth on a 1 by 1 scale. Just some fun facts to put it more into proportion, because humans have a tendency to not understand how big numbers are. If we did end up trying to do this, let's assume a single RAM 8GB DDR3 is around $55. It would take $34 trillion to get this amount of RAM. Now to put that into perspective, the total amount of speculated money on Earth is around $81 trillion at best. If we somehow did manage to arrange all of those sweet RAM sticks, we'd need a server space equivalent to 1.2 billion suns. To put that into perspective, this is the difference between the Earth and the Sun. So just imagine that, but 1.2 million times more. Anyways, I hope you guys like this video, and I think I should stop procrastinating for my test. Yeah, okay, bye.